Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning, happy to be here.
Something about this community appeals to you?
This is a wonderful place to live.
For Kelowna Now, this is Camp Mulgat. And we're joined by Danielle Hofer and Kenesha Charles. We're here to talk about the JCI's Sustainable Development Challenge coming up later this month. So I'll start with you, Danielle. What is this event? What's it all about and who participates?
Okay, so it's the Sustainable Development Challenge. It's in its 7th year. And this event has been put on by Global Citizen Events. And so you may have noticed over the past month, there's been many events all around sustainability. So this event focuses on youth, enabling them to create projects that are making an impact in the world, either in our local community, so there's projects that are making a difference here, and also globally.
Right, okay, now Kenesha, we'll bring you into the conversation. You presented at this event last year. What was your idea and how did it go?
Yeah, so my passion going into the project was with environment. And so having the challenge really gave me that opportunity to do something about it. So my team at Rutland Senior Secondary developed Take Two, which is a plastic recycling workspace. So with this workspace, we're going to be able to recycle at least 36% of our school's waste, effectively diverting it from landfill by creating new items with that.
Wow.
Those items we can then sell to create a profit to keep our workspace sustainable, and we also hope to invest our profits in the community to help more youth do environmental action projects like this.
Fantastic. And I should probably remind people watching this that you're still in grade 12. You talk like someone who has, done a lot of public speaking already. And I guess things like this are part of what's enabled you to build those skills.
Yeah, exactly. Part of the challenge is a 10-minute presentation we had to do last year at the Kelowna Community Theatre. So for a lot of our team, that was our first time doing major public speaking.
Right.
So it was a real big learning opportunity for us.
Fantastic. And Danielle, it's, when you were describing how this works, it's not like the people organizing it are just going to sit back and see what shows up on February the 27th, but instead there are things along the way to help people take their good ideas and come up with a great way to present it, right?
It's a really thorough program where students go through a proposal stage and then they get mentorship. There's been a collection of people from the community, and thank you to all the mentors who have volunteered their time to make sure these projects are sustainable. And when we talk about sustainability, we're not just talking about the environment, which is also important, but also how is it economically sustainable. So we talked about how the money is being generated to then support other projects and support the project that you've developed. So that's a really good sign of sustainability, and also the people involved. So with your project, you can probably elaborate, but you're making sure that it's in the school system so it can be maintained. Right? So it's really well thought out. So by the time the students get to that competition stage, they're ready to deliver something that's ready for competition.
Right. It's pretty impressive. When you describe, your presentation, this is just coming out of this is coming out of a high school, and yet, the way you described it there, it sounds like, you've been through, 6 years of business school.
Yeah, we definitely got a lot of experience in having that elevator pitch through the challenge. And we've been able to create a project that's really special. So our workspace will be the 4th of its kind in Canada and the first at a high school.
Right.
And this project probably wouldn't have happened or wouldn't have been as effective without having the Sustainable Development Challenge and those skills that we learned through that.
Do you already know what some of the ideas are that are going to be presented this year, Danielle? Or is there some exciting ideas coming forward?
Yes, and not to give too much away, but the students have been encouraged to think locally and globally. So some of the local projects are around food sustainability, also helping our most vulnerable population, helping the homeless population find employment and clean up our streets. So those are 2 projects. Abroad, there's water projects around leper colonies. I didn't even know leper colonies were still a thing, but they are. And people, I believe it's in Indonesia, they are not accessing clean water and they're getting even more sick. And there's also another water project in India. So basically, I like how you started by saying you had a passion for the environment and then you created a project to do with that. And that's what these students have done. They've looked around the world. What are the big problems and what am I passionate about?
Right.
And how can I solve it?
You know, solving the world's problems, like coming up with business ideas that are benevolent, is nice. But it sounds to me that your thinking is that there's real economic opportunities in solving these problems as well. That with global warming coming home to roost, that there actually is going to need to be wide-scale action on dealing with global warming and the problems associated with it. And there's money to be made in dealing with it. Am I right?
Yeah, there's definitely a business case for sustainability. And with JCI, we're affiliated with the United Nations. And through the United Nations, there is this UN Sustainable Development Goals. And those are the 17 goals that are supposed to help our world live past, its expiration date.
Yeah.
And there is a call to action from the economic side as well.
Right. You mentioned the 3 Ps, was it?
Yes, triple bottom line: people, profit, and planet.
This is a framework for thinking of a sustainable business idea. So spell
Yes.
out those 3 for us.
Right. So in a business context or even in the student projects, they need to look at this triple bottom line. So let's start with the planet. Is it environmentally sustainable? And that's a measurement. So people, that's a measurement as well. So are you taking care of the people? Are you having people in place to actually do the project or run the business? And then there's profit. So without that type of sustainability, your project will only last
Right.
so long. You need to be generating that revenue, and that's the whole movement towards charities moving into social enterprises.
Right.
Making sure it's sustainable.
Right. So how many different presentations will you see?
Okay, so actually at the pitch day, there's going to be 6 teams. Their presentations are capped at 10 minutes. And maybe you can elaborate on how creative and fun the presentations will be.
Well, they have to be good.
Yeah.
I told you had to make them dynamic. There has to be
Yeah.
something beyond the PowerPoint, right?
Exactly. So really wanting to engage, and we'll probably have students in the audience as well. So we really want to inspire them. So last year for our project, we kind of did a skit out of it. We referenced Bill Nye the Science Guy. We were in lab coats. We had our one friend Natasha became Natrasha, the plastic bag.
Trasha.
So a lot
Hopefully
of fun
that didn't
elements.
stick.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, it really does. When you first told me the idea, it kind of sounded a little dry, but it's not.
It is not. It's not. It's all about the youth getting up there, putting on a show, and also inspiring the audience that, this generation is actually going to be the one that saves our world and makes a
Let's hope
difference.
so.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Danielle Holford.
Thank you
Tanisha
so much,
Charles,
Ken.
You guys
Thank
are great.
you.
And
You're
thank
great.
you for watching Kelowna Now.